Welcome back to Godfall 101. So let's do some quick corrections. I know there's been some confusion on the internet about Godfall using the Unreal Engine 5. It is not. It'll be running on current version of Unreal. I speculated about ranged attacks for our player character and if we'll have anything available to us. And in the Keith Lee interview from PlayStation Lifestyle from back in December of 2019, PlayStation Lifestyle asks, Godfall's focus is largely on melee combat. Are there any options for builds that involve ranged attacks, or is it all up close and personal? Keith Lee responds, all players have ranged attacks at their disposal, but limited by cooldowns or charges. Godfall's focus is about tightening up the combat circle for melee combat. Players will always have two primary melee weapons to switch between during a mission, none of which are exclusive long range in design. End quote. Alright, so let's jump into a couple new things. Now this comes in via the Epic Game Store blurb. It says, vanquish worthy foes, test your skills in the Tower of Trials, and challenge yourself against the toughest foes and earn top tier loot. Now to me this is the first tease that an endgame activity we'll experience in Godfall. Now I'm going to get into some speculation and general game design discussion, but speculation is one of the things I like to do the most. Now the Tower of Trials sounds like a boss rush mode, right? Challenge yourself against the toughest foes. Now to me, you're probably going to have to have completed the game before you get to this to have seen all the bosses. It makes me wonder how many bosses there will be in the game. If there are too few bosses, then the mode will feel short and underdeveloped. When we talk about skill-based gameplay, I think of Dark Souls 3, and Dark Souls had 19 bosses, with some of those being optional. But this is also a looter, so I'm not going to say it's going to be a one-to-one. Just throwing that out there for comparison's sake. So we know that Keith Lee, the game director, had some time working on Diablo 3, which has an endgame activity called Rifts. With Greater Rifts and Nephilim Rifts, these activities have players pushing through levels of enemies that get stronger and stronger until they come up against a boss, or die, or just run out of time. They also have armor set rifts that test the ability of characters with certain armor sets on, which you could probably easily do with Valorplate. Now I enjoy the rift system personally. I don't want there to be a one-to-one version of that here, but I think there are some good ideas that they can definitely use. Now with it being a Tower of Trials, and that makes you believe we'll be working our way from the bottom to the top of the tower, I think it'd be really cool if you could turn on and off certain modifiers to increase the difficulty of the run to get better rewards at the end. Or if there's a mode that grants random modifiers that you can choose after each room, so you can build a random assortment of augments that will allow you to optimize run like a card builder or a roguelike game. For example, after each room, you get offered three different augments. One will increase attack speed, increase health. One will make you a glass cannon. You know, there's so many different things that they can do at the end of each room that you can start to build your own new loadout, which also makes the gameplay varied each time that you go into the tower. Changing it up, making it different, very roguelike, very card builder-esque. So, cool idea that they could use there. So let's talk about the lore real quick. Again, this is from the Epic Game Store description. Tear through foes as you climb through each of the elemental realms and challenge the mad god Macros, who will await you at the top. So who is Macros and why are they mad? Well, we know the Archons were godlike beings born from the dead body of Cosmera herself. So is Macros one of the 12 Archons? The aspect of hatred, anger, conflict maybe? Will all of the Archons be evil? Will we even see an Archon? We also know that the Archons made Valorians in their image. So is it possible that the other creatures that we've seen so far, are they Valorians? Or are they something different? Are they made by the Archons? Or are they just naturally there? I wonder about the line, 1,000-year war just to start the apocalypse. Is it recent that we banished the Archons? Did it take 1,000 years? Now let's talk about Valorplate, avatars, and the Ancient Order of Knights. So first up, the avatars. From the PlayStation Magazine interview again, they ask, from the trailer, it looks like there are 3 protagonists. Can you tell us anything about our gallant heroes? Are they trying to start the apocalypse, prevent it, or just benefit off of it by getting sweet loot? Keith Lee responds, quote, the trailer sets the context at the beginning of the game when you're about to select your initial playable character. As an avatar, you play as one of the last remnants of an exalted knight's order, intent on stopping the apocalypse and preserving the last vestiges of the world. You will be able to play all 3 of the heroes you see by acquiring and donning their armor sets, known as Valor Plates. Besides these 3, you will uncover and equip additional ancient Valor Plates. lost in time in your journey, each with their own characteristics and historical lineage." End quote. Now, I'm not convinced that our characters are Valorians. Keith Lee calls us an avatar. He doesn't say your avatar like we're selecting a character in an MMO. He says as an avatar. Who are we an avatar of? Are we the avatar of an Archon? Are we tied to one of the 12 Archons? Is Macros one of the Archons or something different? Are the Valorplates the mortal shells of the Archons, and we're finding and inhabiting them? If an Archon had such a powerful suit of armor, you don't just leave that thing laying around, you keep it operating. Who built the Valorplates? The Knights? The Valorians? Someone else? Now I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but with 12 Archons, there's a lot of potential for future content and story developments, if not all of them are in the base game. So I'm interested to see how they utilize them in the future. Okay, that's enough ranting and speculation for today. Until next time, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the best source of Godfall information. And remember, stay on your feet and be kind to each other.